Hello everyone, and welcome to your second royal reading of today here at MadWorldTarot. And we're looking at strong ladies today. We looked at a very strong Princess Charlotte and her birthday. We're now looking at a very powerful wife of Justin Trudeau. I'm trying to think of the correct term in Canada, and I don't want to offend you by using the wrong term for her in her official capacity as the Prime Minister's wife. So we'll just leave it as she used to be the wife. She is no more. I think she's written a book or done something, and she's out and about on the circuit having a chat. Rebel Heart Tarot on the tarot table for this one. We're going to look at the famous moment in this chat where Sophie Trudeau was asked about her connection with Meghan Markle and said, "I know her, but I haven't spent much time with her," and was a real blow for Meghan. Meghan liked this Canadian connection. It was the Canadian connection, of course, that got her into Prince Harry's circle, where she could get Prince Harry into her clutches through the likes of Jessica Mulroney and Marcus Anderson, Soho House in Toronto, and all over the place as well. Meghan famously interviewed Sophie Trudeau on her podcast Archetypes, but it turned out that the interview was fake. At the time on the podcast, Meghan described Sophie as her dear friend and talked about meditation and pregnancy and swapping, pregnancy stories, and claimed that they'd spent the day hanging out at her pool in Montecito, drinking wine while the kids splashed in the pool. The toddlers that we never see splashed in the pool while their moms drank wine and shared belly laughs and were giddy like absolute schoolgirls. It's nauseating. I'm just quoting. But then it transpired that that was all a lie, because actually Sophie was in Ottawa and she was interviewed by one of the producers for the podcast, and then Meghan just recorded her bit over the producer. Then we know also that Sophie is very good friends with Jessica Mulroney, goes back years and years and years, and obviously Jessica was dumped by Meghan Markle when Jessica got to be embarrassing. And Sophie probably hasn't forgotten that, because Sophie made sure, in saying she barely knew Meghan Markle and had hardly ever spent time with her, she quickly moved on to say how concerned she was about Catherine's diagnosis, her cancer diagnosis, and wished her well. So she blanked Meghan Markle, and she was swiftly aligning herself with the Princess of Wales, the real royals, and making it very clear where her allegiances lie. Apparently, this led to tears and tantrums at Montecito, according to Neil Sean, and Prince Harry has been sent off to fix the situation and make them besties again. And yes, it does sound terribly infantile, but what can one do? This is allegedly what happened. We're going to do a Celtic cross with the Rebel Heart Tarot. We're going to find out. We're going to read it from Meghan's point of view mostly, but we are, as my microphone falls on the floor, we are going to see what Sophie really thinks of Meghan Markle. And we are going to ask another question in this Celtic cross that because allegedly Sophie's very good friends with a certain Canadian photographer who accompanied Meghan Markle to Rwanda all those years ago when she was building herself up as a humanitarian, but spent most of the time disappearing for hours at a time to change her outfits. And some of that disappearing, apparently, with the Canadian photographer, this is all rumour, might have ended up on film, shall we just say. And so I want to know about that. Allegedly, the film is in the possession of a woman in Canada. So I think we've looked at this before. I'm sure we've looked at it before. This topic comes up every now and then disappears again. Lady C talks about it from time to time. Lady C mentions it in her book. as well. So we're going to ask about that in this reading and count across mostly from Meghan's point of view. The burn. Sophie Trudeau denying all knowledge of Meghan Markle. What's going on? Okay, whole deck has now collapsed. We're ready. I have rambled on a long time. Sorry about that for those of you who don't like to hear the rambling on. But there was a lot of ground that actually needed to be covered before I could get to doing the reading. I work on the assumption that you don't all spend most of your life following these stories in minute detail, so some catching up is required around them. So that's the theory that I work on, well, the guiding principle, and I hope for your sakes that that is true. So there we go, Celtic Cross. Let's remind you, because some of this is rather sticky, that we are dealing with tarot for fun and entertainment. It's all my opinion. It is all speculation. It is just energy that I read here on this channel. There is, of course, a disclaimer in the box below. Please read it. Please form your own opinions about what I'm reading on here today. Sophie Trudeau, Meghan, the Justice card. Interesting, because that was, as I said, Sophie's turn to get some justice for her friend Jessica Mulroney, who was just dumped brutally by Meghan. And many people think that Jessica Mulroney really is the reason that Meghan Markle got away with a lot of the stuff that people suspect she got away with, and was a very loyal friend. Jessica Mulroney, whatever you might think about what the two of them got up to, justice for Jessica. I think that's pretty obvious, excuse me, as an underlying energy, even though we're reading from Meghan Markle's point of view. So from Meghan's point of view, the situation with Sophie Trudeau, the Queen of Cups, I don't know what sign Sophie is, and I should have looked it up, but that is a very emotional connection. That is very much a woman who is in her feels about a situation. Meghan is emotional about this. She really is. I think she genuinely believed her own propaganda, and that she and Sophie were besties. There's pictures of them posing in some photo booth looking all silly with Jessica Mulroney years and years ago. I think she believed all of this rot that she told on the podcast about the belly laughs and the giddy like schoolgirls and all this nonsense. Women in their 40s. It's sickening. That's my personal opinion. But there it is, very emotional about this. Jessica, I know, is a Pisces, so there's that, but I don't know what Sophie's sign is. Problems for Meghan with all of this. We get another queen, and we know who that queen is. The Queen of Pentacles is the Princess of Wales, is Catherine, the Earth sign princess, the Capricorn. Of course, Sophie made it very clear that she had no time at all for Meghan Markle, and she had all the time in the world for Catherine, and very supportive of her, very concerned about her, very public support for her. The Queen of Pentacles is a supporting energy, just generally. Very obvious to Meghan and to the whole world that Sophie was going all out to disown Meghan Markle, bit of justice for her mate Jessica, and side with the actual royals. So behind the scenes were their tears, tantrums, collapsed on the floor, 8 of Wands in the reverse. This was very bad news. It was devastating to her. The 8 of Wands is about communications, it's about news, press, PR. It's a bit all in her head in that particular description of the 8 of Wands in this particular tarot deck. But generally, 8 of Wands in reverse, that was news she could have done without. She wished she hadn't heard, couldn't believe it when she heard it. It's quite shocking, and it's shocking because of the way that this card is drawn with that all in her head. Really messed with her head. This. We've already got emotion with the Queen of Cups at the center of this thing. And there it was, couldn't believe it. She literally couldn't believe it. So what's her goal with this situation? What does she want to achieve? She's got the Devil card. Oh, it's a bit of a scary energy, the Devil. Always a scary energy. It's Capricorn energy, just by the way. That's not a scary energy. No offense to Capricorns. I don't know if Sophie is maybe a Capricorn. I doubt. Well, I don't know. Let me not say I doubt it. The Capricorn has turned into the Devil. And that is what's so scary. This is extra reason to hate the Princess of Wales. Like, really hate her. Resent her. There is the screaming and the shrieking and the outrage and the sort of Disney villain kind of depiction of the Queen when she goes crazy and sends the huntsman out to, you know, do dreadful things to poor innocent princesses. It's that energy. It's vicious. It's vengeful. It's out of control. It's toxic. It's obsessed. The Devil is about obsession. And this energy is very scary, I have to say. And of course, I am just reading energy and expressing my own opinion in this reading and in all the readings that I do on this channel. So let's have a look at the past. What was their relationship like in the past? Never mind what Sophie said. Two of Wands, plotting and planning. They were complicit in the past. They were involved in projects together. They knew each other. It's not an emotional connection. That would be Two of Cups. But the Two of Wands is tight, is equal, complicit, in the sense, I don't mean that they were plotting all kinds of terrible things, but in the sense that they were both equally aware of what each other was getting up to. Perhaps even with photographers, for instance. Knowledge, planning, partnership. Very intentional for me, that Two of Wands. I think that Sophie knew that Meghan was after a certain status in her life. Meghan was aware that Sophie was after certain things in her life. And at some level, they helped each other. Two of Wands, because it's a plan, it's a joint venture, it's, as I say, equal partners. It wasn't as if Sophie was all high and mighty and Meghan was a Suits actress. Well, they were equal. One was in the entertainment industry and making her way, and one was in the political sphere and making her way. They were equals, and that's Tess barking. Next energy, future energy, is that has been sent out to solve this problem, fix this problem. What's going on? We got the Knight of Wands in reverse. And that is action and sort of male energy with the Knight of Wands. And the has-been is the Ginger Whinger. He very often shows up as the Knight of Wands with the ginger hair and the temper and the kind of volatile nature that the Knight of Wands traditionally depicts. It's in reverse. Your problem, you fix it. Not interested. And if you did go along as a messenger, knights are can run errands, can do that kind of thing, their action energy. If you did go along begrudgingly, angrily, journeying, the Knight of Wands is very much about journeys to different countries and things like that, then he would have been rebuffed, or he will be rebuffed. This is not going to be a project that goes well. Put it that way. He's reluctant, he's angry, he's why should I? And if he does, as I say, go, it's very likely that he's not going to get anywhere. Sophie has made it very clear whose side she's on. And it's not the Parkles. So how does she really view Meghan? Let's have a look at that. Ace of Swords in reverse. Wants to cut her out. Out of her life. That's the Ace of Swords. Don't want you in my energy. I don't want to be associated with you. I'm making it very clear because aces are declarations. Ace of Swords is a declaration of intent, of thought, of strategy. And it's in reverse. It's out of my life, out of my sight. I want nothing to do with you. And I want everybody to know this. Absolutely, it was intentional denying of Meghan Markle as a friend. Ace of Swords in reverse. She also thinks that Meghan Markle is vicious. Coming back to this Justice card and the way she treated Jessica Mulroney, allegedly they are still behind the scenes friends. They're rumoured to hang out together still. But this is about the public humiliation that Jessica went through. The loss of her job, not only her job, her husband lost his job. All kinds of things went badly wrong. And she thinks she's a vicious, that be with an itch word. What about Rwanda, tapes, photographers, rumours? We must stress the fact that this is all rumoured. What do we want? What do we know? Two of Cups in reverse. That's interesting. I could feel it over there when I was talking about them. I could feel the Two of Cups energy. It's in reverse. Allegedly, both women, this is all rumour, had some level of entanglement with this fellow, and it led to a falling out. Two of Cups in reverse. They might have been rivals for his affections, let's just say, and it led to trouble between them. That's as much as I want to say with that Two of Cups in reverse. I think it says all it needs to say. In my opinion, let's just round this energy off. It does kind of confirm some of the speculation around the nature of their association. Let's put it like that. Two of Cups in reverse. Meghan, back to her. Hopes and fears. Wow, Death. She's worried that this is a very final moment for her in that social circle. And it was foundational for her, that social circle. It was where all her good fortune came from. Death is endings, difficult endings. Endings you don't want, but that happen anyway. And they're brutal with the Death card, and they change your life radically. And there it is, the end, Death card. She's worried that it's more than the end of her status in that social circle. It could signify other kinds of endings. Of course, Sophie very connected in the political world. Meghan always had political aspirations. It could be the ending of quite a lot of ambition for Meghan. Not just a social kind of an ending. It could be a big ending for her. And so how's this going to play out ultimately? Are they going to reconcile? What's going to happen? We got the Temperance card. So something about this energy could be evened out, smoothed over. Sophie might be encouraged to make some kind of statement at some stage that makes it look less dreadful. At the moment it looks dreadful, and Meghan certainly felt it, that Eight of Wands in reverse and that devil energy there. And for that reason, Sophie might be encouraged to just take some of the sting out of the situation with the Temperance card. Temperance is just moderating energy, less extreme energy. The devil, extreme energy, the Temperance card, moderating that energy, being less psycho, being less obsessed, being less dangerous and toxic. Let's just bring it down a notch, dial it down, and make sure we all get on and everyone's okay. So this old ginger whinger here that I said he doesn't have much chance, it might be that even though he's a reluctant messenger and he might not want to do it, there might be some kind of gesture that winds us back a bit. Because as I say, they know stuff. Two of Wands and Two of Cups. They know stuff about each other. And it could just get a little bit dangerous, that knowledge, unless this happens. This is fix it. So it looks as if there's going to be a fix, but I don't think it's a genuine fix because of this Justice card. And Sophie's very clear intention to be supporting the actual royals and not the fake royals in Montecito. So there it is, and this is one that I really need to remind you is all my opinion and all speculation, and a lot of rumor is discussed in this reading. And please do your own research, form your own opinions about all of this, and of course remember the disclaimer in the box below. Thank you for watching. I'll see you again tomorrow.